Welcome to video number 8 in Module 301, Job Search Strategies. This is our last video of the course, and at the end of video 7, I asked you to do some blog entries that considered your own performance in terms of communicating with poise, and to pick one area where you can improve. That's a habit I want you to get into in your life. Pick one manageable area, think about real and practical things that you can do to improve it, and check in on your progress periodically. Once you've got that one thing done, pick another one thing. And that's the most manageable way I know to continue to grow. When it comes to poise and confidence, as I said at the end of video number 7, there's probably nothing that overrides everything else you're doing more. It's so critical. If you do not have a perfect resume or give the greatest answers in your interview, but you have poise and confidence, you're probably going to do far better than somebody who has the opposite equation. If everything else is in perfection, but you don't come across as really having poise and confidence, it undermines all of that perfection. When I do interviews with people, perhaps the most troubling thing I hear is people saying, "Oh, that's a good question," or "I don't know," or let me think about that. I haven't thought of that before." I expect people coming in to have spent time thinking about what they really want, what they really care about, and thinking about what questions they might get asked. It's really important that you do that. Be able to describe without a lot of hesitation what values you have, what goals you have, what you're good at, what you care about, what you're not good at, what you're working on. If you hesitate to answer those questions, you're telling that evaluator that you're not a very self-aware or self-reflective person. But if you tell them that you are aware of those things, even if you're describing things that aren't perfect about yourself, you really show a lot of poise. Take stock of yourself at every level. It might seem that employers don't care about how you are in your personal relationships or you're attending to your health. But of course they do, because they understand that all those things that happen when the clock strikes the end of your shift still affect the way that you will be as an employee. So if you tell people that you're working on things, like for example, getting better at being a father or improving your overall fitness, they're going to be impressed by that. You don't need to divulge all of your personal history to do this. You can just talk about the fact that these are goals and ambitions you have in your life. And when you do that, you're communicating that you're a poised and confident person. Make sure that you study up ahead of time. And it's a particularly good idea to go back and look at our communications module and focus on the presentation skills that we talked about. Things like pauses or the body language that we use can be really important things for us to focus on. Make sure that you're truly happy to be where you are. I can tell when I interview somebody that they're excited to get that interview, that they're really, really happy that they got picked to be there. And that's something that people often overlook. Remember, the employer called you. They want you as well. They're hoping this works out. It's an accomplishment to get that call. And once we start to look at it that way, I think we begin to relax a little bit. Yes, we're a little bit nervous. That's a product of being excited or having something on the line. Employers want you to know that this is important. They want to see evidence that you care. But if you can bring down the stress level just enough to turn it into a bit of a conversation, not something that sounds like a pre-written speech or something that looks like you're trying to answer questions on a test, you're going to get far further along. When I'm in an interview and the conversation starts being about people's holidays or their dogs or their hobbies, it's usually a very good sign that they're doing well. So if your employer or the person that you're sitting there with asks you questions that start to venture into conversation, treat it as a very good sign that you are demonstrating that you're at ease with them and making them at ease with you. And remember to make yourself unique and interesting. Please take quick note at this, a good note of this last statement. It doesn't say remember to make yourself sound unique and interesting. It says remember to actually make yourself unique and interesting. If you set yourself apart by having a unique hobby or by being a constant lifelong learner, by traveling or by reading interesting books, you'll have far more to talk about. One of the questions I ask people in interviews for this course is, what's the most important thing to know about you that I haven't asked so far? And it's remarkable how often people can't tell me anything different about themselves. Even if what you tell me is that you're into French food or that you have the best garden in your neighborhood, That's extremely interesting to me, and it demonstrates that you're a poised and confident person. Always be a learner. Always be looking to find a way to set yourself apart, and that will give you something to talk about in an interview like this as well. All right, that's going to wrap up this module. I'll be looking at your blog entries. Hopefully you'll be able to take some of what you've learned here and use them in the employer forum as well. But I hope this helps you as you go on the happy hunting for your new career.